story, they're picking and choosing. I watched an edited version of the story, and it still shows that the male is the victim in this situation. First of all, she admitted to knowing him. That does mean that he's more likely to do something, of course. As many of us know, you are almost infinitesimally not likely to get abused by a complete and total stranger. It's less than 1% of your assailants are strangers. Less than 1%. Who are you always telling your kids to be afraid of? Homeless people. Watch out for those people. Watch out for the scragglies. They're filthy. They'll do bad things to you. But who's really more likely to do that to you? Your dad. Then we've got all these women going to the gym, right? And I have heard men complain about, well, depends on the man, I suppose. But there's a lot of men that I know, they go to the gym, they come back, and they complain. They're like, you know what? I get there and I get stared at by a bunch of fat women like I'm a piece of meat. Well, yeah, you're a good-looking feller. You're physically fit. Of course they're going to look at you. You know, fat women get lonely too. It's not just good-looking people that are allowed to get allowed. That's what's important here. What's allowed? A pretty blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl who just turned 18 is going to get special treatment no matter where she goes. There will be special treatment for her. She will have ideas about the world that are so philosophical, but yet so untrue for the majority of the population. And we got these women who are, well, first of all, if a man does this, you hate it, don't you? You hate it if a man records, then it's an infringement upon your privacy, and it must be because he's trying to check out your fine ass and your beautiful tits, right? Isn't that what you expect? Isn't that what we keep having show up, that men are this and men are that, and I only post this so that I can show you that men will look? Of course we look. I look at men and women. My eyes are drawn to where the motion is at. Also, some of them physically healthy and fit men are that way because they haven't injured themselves using that shit the wrong way. If somebody who is physically fit, chiseled to the max, and you're at the gym, and you are doing something that is going to fucking hurt yourself, all right? You are going to injure yourself by doing this. If somebody comes up to you and helps you, tries to teach you how not to hurt yourself, and you want to try to expose him as a pervert, one of those ladies, Men's Health magazine got involved in the situation, saying, hey, lady, if this was most gyms in the United States and the people who own the place saw you doing that, the owner would tell you how to do it properly, and if you wanted to argue, they would tell you to leave because you're a liability. You're going to get yourself and potentially somebody else hurt or injured because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. These weights aren't triangular in shape. They're round. You drop that shit the wrong way, the wrong direction. That's a lot of weight. You're going to break an ankle. You're going to break a shin. You're going to pull muscles. You're going to horribly mangle somebody if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. When you injure yourself and you drop that shit, it's not just going to stop where you dropped it on most occasions. Those mats are supposed to be drop mats. They're supposed to help it so that it doesn't do that. However, that depends on how you drop it. If you drop it straight down, yeah, it'll do what it's supposed to. If it rolls off your back while fucking up your ribs, it's going to roll into somebody else potentially. So that's one of the few situations where people got involved and said, hey, stop fucking kicking men around for being useful at the gym. Then we watch how a woman wanted to complain, wanted to post up the video where she was videoing herself, as many people are doing at the gym these days. We got all these women who want to be the next one to post up a video about a pervert who stared at them while they were at the gym. Meanwhile, there's men with all sorts of those popping up. And instead of them focusing on women who are fucking staring at them like they're meat, these men are focusing on finishing their workout routine. When somebody comes up and talks to them, even if it's one of these women, even if they're flirting, not flirting, but literally projecting vagina at a man. I mean, this is literally what these women are trying to do. Oh, well, there's this man at the gym. He's physically fit. Good place to meet a man. Well, now there's this man who is trying to finish his workout. He might be married with kids. He might even tell you that he's married with kids. And you're still going to talk to him. And you do the smiley thing. You do the mimic thing. When he moves a part of his body, then you move the same part of your body and do the same thing. This shows that you're attracted to him. When you're constantly swaying your hips in his direction, there's a lot of stuff that we learn that you're supposed to understand somebody is attracted to you or interested in you or whatever. And one of those things is also that big-ass smile while you're doing these things. And you're trying to get his attention. You're trying to accentuate what you feel are your best features. You suck in your belly and you perk up your chest a little bit. Well, that's the good-looking guy in the gym. What about the fat slob that just started working out? For him, his muscles aren't used to it. If he sticks with it for a year or two, yeah, he's going to be very physically fit. But he's going to have to stick with it that long. Now, every time he goes to the gym, he gets treated like he's a fucking pervert for showing up. You know, he'll do a set of 5, and you're used to doing 3 sets of 30 on a low weight. You're used to doing 4 sets of 10 on the heavyweight when you're doing your heavy lift week. You know, you're used to having a change up in routine. And there's this fat guy who's there, and he's trying to do the same thing. When a man comes up to that fat guy and is giving him some advice about it, how to improve his cardiovascular, stuff that'll help him to retain oxygen in his blood. This guy's physically fit. That fat guy is more likely to listen because the man who is talking to him is physically fit. If a woman who is physically fit comes up and walks up to that man and starts giving him advice on that very same thing, that man is more likely to listen to her because she's physically fit. And if he's got positive reinforcement when he goes to the gym, he might stick with it. He might actually get some self-esteem too. He might actually be able to talk to people. But if he goes to a gym where it's a whole bunch of valley girls who are trying to catch a pervert, oh my God, a fat guy's in the gym, he must only be out for young girls. What the hell are you thinking? So one of these women, she doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She's trying to do a lift that she saw on TV, and she's stuck. Now, this is after probably 10 to 15 things, all in the same year about, well, most of these men are just at the gym. The crime that they committed was not being good-looking men. This is the crime that they committed. Now, this Xavier Thomas feller, I'm watching the video and I'm looking at it. I'm like, all right, she lets him in because she knows who he is. I'm interested in this. You know, there's a lot of these attacks happening at gyms, right? And most of them end up being bogus, but the guy ends up having to take the charges and it destroys his whole life anyway. Now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I've been in a few situations where, you know, you're attacked by somebody because they're paranoid, because they've been taught to be paranoid. And then now they're harming you. You're not interested in any harm. Now, when you walk up to somebody and you've got your palms up, You are showing a submissive position. A submissive position. That's what you're trying to show. When you've got your hands like this. Now, I don't know how many people have come up to me and thought that it was okay to just touch me. I had one guy, he was punching me one day in the back of the head. I'm like, what am I getting hit for? Apparently, I'd gotten too close to the guy, and he thought I was going to try to steal something from him. I'm like, I'm not even facing him. Like, what the hell? He apologized with a shitty attitude is what he did, but he did apologize. And although it was one of those apologies where it's my fault, apparently, that this guy started punching me in the back of the head, at least he apologized and fucking left. I get to see all these things with, well, like this Xavier feller in Florida. She lets him in, right? Now, he goes about his thing and she goes about her thing. He's not, like, coming up to her with a weapon. He's not chasing her and fucking grabbing her and holding her down. He approaches her hands down at one point. Obviously, he's trying to say something to her. You can see he's trying to use his words, but she automatically just starts fucking waylaying on him. Starts pushing and shoving. Like at that point, what he's got to be afraid of is, number one, he can't turn his back to her. She may assault him again. She may push him or shove him. He has to pay attention to all the stuff in there that she could potentially grab and fucking throw at him, because those weights, even a 5-pound weight, if she throws that and hits you in the fucking head, you're dead. D-E-A-D, dead. You're fucking dead. It'll put a literal hole in your fucking head. It will literally kill you. 5-pound weight? Oh, yeah. And there's a lot heavier stuff in there. Like I was talking about using shit wrong. So what he's got to do at that point, he's got to maintain a distance between him and her. But he also got to be close enough that if she picks up a weapon, he can fucking pounce and prevent her from fucking flinging it at his goddamn head. The other thing is, this guy's just been assaulted. He ain't done fucking shit to this lady. He ain't fucking pulled a Donald Trump and grabbed her by her, you know what? He's gone up to her in a submissive way. But he's not an attractive man. I've seen him. He's got a puff here, and a puff here. That's what his hairstyle is. He's got facial hair. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, holy shit. He's doing all the stuff he's supposed to do in that situation. He's being smart about it. I can only imagine what he was fucking yelling at her. He was probably trying to remain in a calm voice and calm her the fuck down, because it was a fucking volatile situation. This woman started fucking pushing him and shoving him and fucking hitting him. At that point, what you're thinking about is, all right, first of all, I'm a dude. If the cops show up, they're automatically going to take her side. Also, she's fucking assaulting me because she's fucking flipping shit. Whatever the fuck her problem is, it ain't my fault. She needs to fucking seek therapy, not take it out on me. I hope she doesn't pick up one of them fucking weights and swing it at me or fucking throw it at me. Eventually, he got fucking sick of that shit. You get fucking sick of people fucking hitting you. You get sick of people fucking shoving you. What did he do? He did the right thing. He fucking stopped her from doing that to the best of his ability. You don't just let them continue to fucking hit you. Now, when you say leave, here's the thing, is that you need to keep your fucking eyes on your goddamn assailant. You keep your fucking eyes on them. And the time that it takes for you to open up the door, that's time enough for them to grab a hold of your fucking hoodie. That's time for them to grab a hold of your fucking belt line or the back of your shirt. It's time for them to fucking grab you by your hair or by your beard. You need to keep your eyes on the person who's fucking assaulting you, and Mr. Xavier did exactly that. When he stepped in on her, it was always, and in those videos you can see it, he's afraid of her going for a goddamn weapon. When she does that, he fucking steps up. He steps closer. That's what you're fucking supposed to do. We're not talking about range weapons like a handgun or like a bow and arrow or like a spear. Actually, yes, we are. I'm not sure if those of you Bible thumpers who like to throw that book at all of us, I'm not sure if you remember, but they used to stone people to death. Yeah, a rock will fucking kill you. Candlestick. Blunt force fucking trauma. That's what it is. Now, as far as him getting physical, no, she was the fucking aggressor through all of it. We've all had people who have stepped in our close enough fucking range, our proximity range where it's no longer acceptable. Like, hey, you're inside of my fucking zone here. You're inside of my personal bubble. Now, as a man, you're not allowed to have a personal bubble. You are not allowed to set boundaries if you have a penis. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to defend yourself against predators and aggressors. You're not allowed to turn in your predators or aggressors. You'll get ostracized for trying. You'll get made fun of for trying. Especially if you're not one of the good-looking folks. And that has been shown to be the number one thing that people want to believe is a straight smile and a pretty face. That'll help pass a lie more than anything else. Gender is a close second. We've been taught that girls are made out of sugar and spice and everything nice. No, that's just sexist bullshit. That's a goddamn nursery rhyme, you fucking nuthead. Do you really believe that women are made of sugar? Literally. How about spice? What do you think is nice? No. Women are not made of sugar and spice. They're made of flesh and blood, just like we are. And they should be held accountable the same as we are. They should be held responsible the same as we are. If she wants an equal wage, she should work an equal amount of overtime. The disparity in wage doesn't come from women getting paid less than men. It comes from women working less than men, working less hours, specifically less overtime hours. Now that woman who didn't know how to properly do that stuff with the weights, who was yelling at those men, I need help, I need help. They just kept on walking. Do you know why? Because no matter how they had gone to approach or help her, in order to do it safely, they would have had to do what the woman who came to assist her did. The woman who came to assist her brushed her genital region against the backside of the woman who needed help. No man wants to go to the gym and have to face those fucking charges. No. You can either figure it out yourself, or you can hope that a woman will help you do that, because a man going to the gym and assisting a woman is like saying, I want to be charged with rape. And by the way, this man, Mr. Xavier, was charged with rape and kidnapping. He didn't try to rape or kidnap anybody. What he tried to do is prevent damage to his person by an armed assailant. Now in the video, it does show him take her down. She was fucking hitting him over and over again. What do you guys usually do when somebody hitting you? You fucking yell at them. You tell them to back the fuck up off you and stuff it. Knock their shit off. What the hell are you doing? What are you thinking? Well, that person starts reaching for a weapon. Holy shit, you better fucking step in right goddamn now. If they grab that weapon, they can throw it at you if you're at a distance. With a heavy weapon, the best way to utilize it is just to throw it forward. Most people are going to telegraph with a weapon. They're going to pull it back. As soon as they step back, that's where you take a step forward. You fucking get them in an A-frame lock and you fucking snap their arm. But you can't do that from 20 foot away. That man did exactly what he should have been doing. He maintained an appropriate distance between him and his attacker. He made sure that his attacker, here's something to notice about the videos, there's doors there. She didn't try going for the doors. At all. This is what most people are going to try to do. They're going to take themselves to the door. Get themselves close to the door. When you've got someone who is trying to harm you, they want to prevent you from going to the door. Also, if you have committed a crime against someone, they have all sorts of reason and initiative to keep you there, to prevent you from being able to get away and harm somebody else because you're fucking whack jobs. I mean, holy fucking Christ, there's only so much Kardashians a man can handle. You like that, how I make it about men? When a man is sexually assaulted, you tell him he needs to go to the back of the bus because men are perverts and women have to deal with it more than men. What does that turn into? 29 million male sexual abuse survivors in this country alone. 29 million. That's equal to the black population of the black male population of North America. Well, United States. I don't know how many black males live in Canada. And those are just survivors who are alive today. Male survivors. We can't even help you when you're hurting yourself. even when it's a liability to all of us, without being treated like we're perverts. We have to be afraid, even when you're asking for our help. We have to be afraid. We have to be afraid that you'll twist it into something that it ain't. Did that woman who had another woman step up right behind her and help her lift up those weights? Well, it was definitely pelvis to pelvis. That was definitely the only quasi-safe way to do it. And thank goodness that woman was able to get help, because it could have resulted in a lot worse injuries, actual injuries. But the men watching that, they have to think to themselves, you know, if I help her, my genitalia is going to rub up against her backside. I'm not losing my family or my kids over something like that. I cannot, in good conscience, help that woman out, knowing that it could potentially result in me being charged with sexual assault. This man, Xavier, charged with sexual assault and kidnapping. He never sexually assaulted her. She physically assaulted him repeatedly. And he did what he should have done. They don't show him sexually assaulting her. It definitely shows her wrapping her legs around his face and around his upper torso. It definitely shows that while you want to pretend that men are stronger than women, no, she's been training. She is into that. She was looking forward to a situation like that, even if she had to make it and manufacture it herself. Chances are something bad happened to her when she was a kid. Chances are pretty good that it was a dad, an uncle, or a brother who did it to her. Chances are she never took it out on them. Chances are she was looking for any man that she could dominate after that, by whatever means necessary, even if it meant pumping iron for years and trying to find some poor sap who's ugly enough and homeless looking enough that it's magically all right to fucking beat the hell out of him. Of course, if he's good looking like Sammy Leon Lawrence IV, you magically care. That's what people wanted to type about it, didn't they? All these people with my situation versus Zayd Atkinson's. Look at that situation. People wanted to type, oh, Sean looks like a pervert. He looks like a chimo. He looks like a rapist. Really? Jeremy Meeks looks like a rapist. Robert Downey Jr. looks like a rapist. The hell are you thinking? Kevin Spacey looks like a rapist. Dean Cain looks like a rapist. Charlie Sheen looks like a pedophile. R. Kelly, same thing. And here we are with the Kardashians at the gym. Oh my God, the ugly one looked at me. Oh my God, I'm just here to work out. Oh my God, there's a good looking one. Oh my God, he is so cute. I'm just gonna go over there and act stupid. What the fuck, Chuck? At no point in time did he attempt to sexually assault her. And there is no indication he was attempting to fucking abduct anybody or kidnap anybody. Why the fuck was he charged with that shit? And this is from them editing the worst parts of the video to show us. We're going to show the public the worst parts of the video. You see in the video, when she gets close to something, she uses a weapon, he steps up like he should. When he approaches her to talk to her, he's got his hands down. I've had to do that with people before because they were too fucking intense. They got fucking pissed off about something stupid. I've actually been at the gym and had shit like that happen. Yes, I've gone to the gym. They used to have YMCA that was open to the youth. If you were under the age of 18, you could go to the YMCA. You didn't have to pay a due. You didn't have to pay any of that. And you go to the YMCA, they got showers there, they got weightlifting there, they got a pool there, depending on where you're at. And yeah, you see grown men in the shower fucking naked sometimes. Because if you're an adult, you can still go to the YMCA and pay that and go in there. Now that man isn't getting all undressed in front of you. The ones that I went to, it's kind of like a pool shower stall. There's a curtain rod, and each stall is individual. But you know what? They're crappy fucking stalls, crappy fucking curtains, and they don't close all the way. Sometimes you walk by and you catch a glimpse of somebody's vajanglies. Does that mean that every old man who goes to the YMCA to shower is trying to be a pervert and show little boys his genitalia? Where do you draw the fucking line? If you're about to do something to hurt yourself and a man comes up and says, hey, that'll hurt you, that doesn't mean that he's trying to fucking touch your Royal Rastafarian nays. Yes, I know that's used to describe male parts. But the point remains the same. When you have been trained and ingrained through your entire life that men are the enemy, especially unattractive men. When your mom wants to push you to date a particular guy because you'll have good-looking babies. When you look at a situation like mine and you assume that I'm some sort of a sicko, pervert, nasty motherfucker and you make fun of the way that I look over and over and over again. You don't want me to do that back to you. But then you look at Zayd Atkinson. You know, he's taking pictures for different magazines and stuff, showing off his pectoralis, his nice chest, his nice stomach. Women typing to him and men typing to him what a good-looking person he is. Meanwhile, this is supposedly some crime that was committed against him because he's black. But the crimes committed against me were because I deserved it. I could never possibly be a victim of police brutality because I'm white. The media told people to back him, and they did. That's how that worked. The media wanted to paint me as some sort of a monster, and then they didn't want to show the truth afterwards. They didn't want to admit to their folly or their fuck-ups. And to this day, I continue to be victimized because of that bullshit. There's a difference between a man trying to fucking rape you in the goddamn gym and somebody who's fucking trying to fend off a fucking armed assailant. When she went and reached for weapons, when she went over by things that she could pick up and fucking chuck at him, he did the right thing by stepping in. Those were the situations where he stepped in closer. But she was the one who repeatedly hit him. He was not attempting to fucking punch her or hit her or kick her at any point in time. All of the physical assault came from her. Every fucking bit of it. Why is he being charged with sexual assault? Why is he being charged with kidnapping? He didn't have any fucking weapons there. He wasn't pointing a gun at her. He wasn't chucking shit at her. He wasn't holding her at knife point or trying to fucking stab her. He didn't have some ropes or some fucking duct tape or some baling twine or any of that shit that he was trying to fucking bind her up with? He didn't walk up behind her and try to fucking cover her mouth. He didn't fucking smack her in the head with a blunt goddamn object. He made zero attempt to grab any weapon whatsoever. His only interest through all of that was his own goddamn safety, because this fucking nut job, fucking roid freak, is looking to fucking take her shit out on somebody who can't fucking defend themselves. Oh, poor me, I'm the victim, I got tits. She created that situation by letting him in the door to begin with. What would we have done if that was a man in that situation and he let woman in to do that and he fucking smacked her for walking up with her hands like this? What would we fucking do to that man? Let's reverse the goddamn roles here. You guys say, hey, Sean, you should look at it from these people's point of view. You know what? Here's the problem. I have, and I do frequently. Let's try a little bit of fucking role reversal. Let's put male reproductive organs in the female reproductive organ slot, and we'll put the reproductive organ slot for the women in the reproductive organ slot for the men. What have we got here? Role reversal. This isn't a change of gender. I'm not talking about going to the doctor and having them slice up your goodies and turn a man into a woman or a woman into a man. I'm talking about try putting yourself in a man's fucking shoes, not from your spoiled fucking Kardashian point of view. We can't even watch the fucking History Channel anymore. There's no fucking history on it. All you fucking nut jobs care about is tarot, the goddamn Kardashians, basketball wives, and ancient goddamn aliens. What happened to history on the History Channel? Now we got to go to YouTube. We got to go to YouTube and listen to people who read a lot of books, because, well, even a lot of modern historians, they're interested in the story. They like the storytelling. They just don't want to have to read it because they're lazy. They can text for 4 to 8 hours a day, but they can't stop to read most of the messages people are sending them. They're lazy. But there's a lot of people that used to be interested in the History Channel, but what's on there that's worth watching? The Kardashians getting pissed off because some ugly glanced in their direction? And then we got a whole bunch of women right now. I've been taking screenshots of this shit whenever it pops up on my news feed. Well, probably only 1 out of every 8 of them, just because there's just so goddamn many. I'd just be taking screenshots all day. How's that useful? It's fucking gross. The moral of the story is it's not okay to help women. If a woman comes to you because she's got an abusive boyfriend and you help her out of that situation, even women have to deal with the abuse from that, from helping out another female in that situation when she decides to go back to her abuser or her supposed abuser. How many times are you gonna change the story about that when you go back to him? How many times are you gonna cry for help over a beating and then go back to the same asshole before people stop helping you. Before people go, you know what? Out of the 6 times I helped you move out of that son of a bitch's house, I didn't learn my lesson till now. You're never going to be done with that situation. You're never going to be done with that abuse. And at this point, I can't even believe that it's abuse. You were scared. Well, you're taught to be a fearful little animal, aren't you? You're also taught to stand up for yourself with other women and the men that they can get to congregate to your cause. And we're all expected to help women, aren't we? We're all expected to drop everything right when they want it. A lot of married men will give the advice that you just have to let her win. Either you let her think she's right or she'll make your life hell. So just don't get married. A lot of women I know won't have women friends because they don't want to get stabbed in the back in exactly that way. They don't want to feel bad for another woman who's just going to end up trying to twist it into being their fault because no accountability. And no remorse. A lot of these women, they don't realize how horrible it is until it happens to them, until people treat them with equality. And that goes for many of these good-looking men as well. They've got it in their heads that everybody's got what they got, and they only got what they got because they worked harder than everybody else for it. That just simply ain't the case. We know that violence is a good motivator, isn't it? Look at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson got sick and tired of being beaten up for having a girl's voice. How dare I say that? Would I say that in front of Mike Tyson? Yeah. Yes, I would. That is specifically why he started learning how to box. People made fun of the way that he spoke, his tone of voice, and the lisp. They made fun of him and they told him he sounded like a girl. So he started lifting weights and learning how to knock people the fuck out. He was only 18 years old when he took the heavyweight title of the world. 18! Youngest in history to this day. Now that lady at the gym, same thing. Something happened in her life, and it was very specifically somebody in her life who harmed her. And she got motivated to become a jack of all fuck-ups. Something doesn't please me, I'll just beat it up. I don't get what I want right when I want it. Instead of asking nicely, I'm just going to start shoving and assaulting people, and I'll play victim afterwards. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's never okay to assault people, but it is always okay to defend yourself. I've learned what it takes to be able to run away from your attackers, and he did not have that. He knew logistically that he did not have that. Now, for her, not going for the door at all, honestly, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have let her leave. I'd have taken the fucking ass whooping. She fucking assaulted somebody. She needs to go to jail before she takes that aggression out on somebody else. Imagine a woman like that having kids. On my news feed today, something popped up about a woman who killed her 6-year-old son, shot him 6 times while he was in his fucking baby seat. Shot her own son 6 times. Oh, women wouldn't do that. That's what we want to keep pushing, sugar and spice and everything. Fuck you. Fuck you. Tell that to Christine Bouhit's son. She didn't want her kid. She didn't care about her kid unless she could use it for sympathy and fucking drugs. That's the only time her son existed to her, as a source of manipulation. All right, I suppose I should end this video. And I should try to message that lady and see if she'll help. Just so you know, Xavier is a black man. He's black. Do you think BLM will pick it up? Do you think BLM is going to stop and go, hey, look at this fucking situation? Look at it. All the parts that they had to pick and choose and edit out of the video to try to make him look like a bad guy. And these are all the things that you are trained to do. Now, as far as going for the door, if my attacker goes for the door, but they don't have a gun or a knife in their hand immediately, yes, I'm going to stand in front of the door and prevent them from getting away before the cops get there. Obviously, while somebody is in the process of beating on you, it's not so easy to get your phone out and record it. You can always end up with a situation like I had to deal with. Robert Franklin Warnick is not only a sex offender, he is a registered sex offender. And when I recorded the assault by him against me, what did he do? He broke my fucking phone. He assaulted me and broke my phone. And he got away with it scot-free. Why? Because the cops that I had to try to turn that son of a bitch into are his fucking friends. We need to hold women accountable to these actions. And when they try to antagonize the situation and get multiple people involved, there were literally dozens of people who got involved in abusing me after I left Virginia. The number of people that I went to for help who wouldn't even listen to the abuse, wouldn't even take the time to listen. They're literally just telling me what to do and what to think and what to feel. And the worst ones were pretty white girls who have this magic idea in their head of everybody getting handed shit as easily as they get it handed to them. Or situations like with Mark Swanigan, who, no matter what I say, he always got it worse because he's black. I should just shut up about my problem because I ain't black. He grew up in Chicago, so I should just not complain. Well, it ain't just complaining, homie. I'm trying to get something done about it. Trying to get this shit to stop. We need to take control back for ourselves. We cannot continue to cower in fear of women's opinions. Why do we cower in fear of women's opinions? Because a man can literally go to prison over a woman's opinion, even if it's not really her opinion. If she's a fucking junkie and she's your ex, and she wants custody of your kids, she's going to pretend like you would sexually molest her or rape her or beat her. And her friends get to harass you and threaten you, and her friends' husbands as well. Well, hold on a second. Why can't you just have your kids and be a good dad. Why can't we allow that? Why is it that a woman, when she doesn't get what she wants, is allowed to destroy a man's life? Why is it that the courts ignore this and the damage that it does and the innocent people that it gets killed? Xavier don't belong in fucking jail or prison. Fuck that shit. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind. Not even if they a black male in Florida. Oh, come on. Fucking work, Jesus. Fucking goddamn holy sh... There it goes.